Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&Chew Guy, and this is the number 8 entry on the alternatives playlist. So we will be taking a look at another back-off product. This is tobacco and nicotine free. I had said originally that I was not going to do nicotine free alternatives, but two things happened. One, Bergs from Berg's Dip Reviews sent me 2 allotments of this stuff without me asking, which was kind of him. And the other aspect of this is that this one in particular and a couple other of the coffee products sort of interest me from a flavor aspect. And to be fair, basically that's what a lot of loose leaf chew interests me. That's how I look at loose leaf chew. I do not look at loose leaf chew, although it does have nicotine. I do not look at it as a source for nicotine. The other thing is that after dealing with some of the products that actually do have nicotine, then you're going to have to expand your thinking on the topic, because there are some alternative products with like full nicotine levels that are just they shouldn't be products. They should be done away with. Anyway, so I thank you. This review here is thanks to Berg's of Berg's Dip Reviews. Let's take a look at the packaging. So it is a sticker on black plastic lid. Everything is fairly straightforward. It is a pouched product. Going around, you basically have branding in the fact that it's a pouched coffee product. Then you have manufacturer's information, the fact that it's made in the USA, and the barcode and RDF. And then you have a ingredients list and the fact that the ingredients are FDA compliant. All right. So basically, when something's FDA compliant, my understanding now, you could go to the BACCOFF website and check, but I'm guessing they probably voluntarily invited the FDA in to just check over the facility that this is made in and the ingredients that are being used. I don't think they would have been forced into an FDA check. I believe the company probably invited the FDA in. But if you go over to their website, I'm sure they would probably have something about it over there. The website is dipstop, one word, .com. Dipstop.com. So the manufacturer's information, which is very small right there, is just saying that this is BACCOFF is a DSI company. I am not familiar with DSI, but it is headquartered out of Selma, Alabama. All right. Now, for the ingredients, it has a pretty short ingredient list, but I am going to need the magnifying glass. So the net weight is 0.7 ounces. Okay, so that is about 1.2 ounce, well, 0.12 ounces less than, let's say, a can of Copenhagen pouches. All right, very small amount. I mean, when you're dealing with differences that small, not really a big deal. Ingredients: water, glycerin, coffee, cellulose fiber, natural and artificial flavors, sugar, salt, caramel coloring, and sodium benzoate. Fairly simple, straightforward ingredients list. On the back of the can, it's a generic Pinkerton-esque type can. The sides of the can are actually pretty darn strong. Now, the 2 BACCOFF products that I've already reviewed were sample sachets, so this is the first can I got. It seems pretty sturdy. Unfortunately, I am going to have to use a knife because this thumbnail is basically non-working at this point. So I'll be interested. The flavor aspect of this is what is driving my own personal interest. And yeah, that didn't do anything. Hold on for a second. You know what? I'm going to pause this for a second. Seriously? I don't know if my thumbnail was in working order, if I would have been able to cut that. I don't know if this is a one-off, but it had this crazy band. Like, at first I was just going around the band with this. I actually had to start working back and forth to cut through the band. I was like, this is insane. I felt like I was cutting a steak or something. Anyway, I haven't opened it yet. But, are you kidding? Okay. Wow. Okay, well, it's very moist in there. I don't know if you can see the moisture on the lid. The lid is... Oh, wow. That's embarrassing, Pinkerton. The people that make BACCOFF have better lids than you, Pinkerton. How embarrassing is that? Wow, this stuff looks... Whoa. It smells really, really good. Smells like chocolate and coffee. The pouches are really, really damp. Now, I don't know if they're using like a brown pouch material, but the darker spots there is where the tobacco, the coffee is coming in full contact with the pouch material. Oh man, these things are wet. No talk of extra moisture here. They're wet. Smells really good. So I'm going to take... They need plumping a little bit. They are a little bit smaller. Let me... And you need to plump them a bit because, I guess because it's coffee, it sort of gets compacted in one end of them. I'm going to throw a couple of these in. I'm going to throw maybe more than a couple in. Yeah, I'm going to throw 3 in. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so these are pretty good. I mean, a product like this is only really going to address the oral fixation aspect of dipping. And this probably addresses that pretty well. The problem being is that that is like, if you're quitting the smallest aspect of things that you have to deal with, nicotine being the biggest. So, from a flavor aspect, here's the problem with this. There's not enough of it. There's a good amount of it, and the flavor itself is good, unless you don't like coffee, and then don't buy the coffee pouches and put them in your mouth. But drinking coffee would give you more flavor than this, somewhat obviously. The flavor itself with this, now it's comfortable enough, but there is a different feel than, let's say, those peach pouches that I did the sample pack of. I guess there's a couple of reviews back on this playlist. They were of a different product. They were tea leaves. This actually feels different. The product in the pouch wants to clump down on itself, so it does feel like more firm. I'm not saying it's uncomfortable, and the pouch material's fine. It just has a different feel. It's not as soft. The flavor comes across right off the bat, very chocolatey. And then that sort of recedes back a little bit, and a strong black coffee sort of comes forward. The chocolate aspect is still there, but not... At first, it was just chocolate. I'm dipping chocolate. And then shortly thereafter came the black coffee, which is not bad in itself, but... And the chocolate sort of faded back. So, I will actually use all these just for the flavor. Now, these products, I believe on their website, like a single can is like $2.88 or something like that. I mean, if they're priced under $3 and you really find a flavor, you think you really might like a flavor that they have going on, you know, throwing something in your lip, not to so much even quit dipping, but to just cut out a dip out of your day, something that's flavored well. I mean, I guess to cut down or get yourself in control a little bit more, there's different aspects where this could be used. As far as like being a product, it all looks quality to me. It looks quality. It tastes good. Okay, it's very uniform in the can. Okay, they got great moisture level in it. The pouches are a little bit on the smaller side, but they are uniform. You know, they got plastic can lids right somehow, Pinkerton. And although you do not have to spit this stuff, according to their own website, you don't have to. You can. And hold on. Well, that was a little bit whiter and foamy, but it actually has more color when you spit with this stuff than if you were dipping, let's say, Skull or something along those lines. So I guess it's comes down to if you like a flavor and you're pretty sure, and if you have money that you're willing to put out. I mean, you know, if it's under $3, that's reasonable for a quality product, as long as you know ahead of time there is no nicotine, which I've been pretty clear about, I think. All right? So, as long as it's disclosed ahead of time that there's no nicotine, if you think you may really like a flavor, maybe it'll cut one dip out of your day or whatnot if that's what you're trying to do. As for these coffee pouches, I will do more of them. All right? And I'm going to show the other ones now because there are a number of different options with the coffee. So you have two other basically coffee flavors, which is the BACCOFF caramel and the BACCOFF vanilla. And then there's like a coffee dip crossover, and they have a coffee wintergreen. So flavor-wise and quality of product-wise, I will probably do those other three Tuesday night slots or maybe even a Monday over the next few weeks. Because although personally I don't see much point from a dipping aspect, nicotine stuff, I don't see much point in this, even trying to quit, going just cold turkey. But from a flavor aspect, I find this enjoyable. It's not going to hold me off from, you know, smoking my pipe or dipping Stoker straight, but it is a flavor experience, if you want to call it that, and it's an enjoyable one to me. So this has been the review of BACCOFF Coffee Mocha. It's a pretty, it comes across after that chocolate starts fading a little bit. It comes across sort of as black coffee. In a good way, though. Personally, I don't drink my coffee black, but on the other hand, I don't drink a lot of coffee, period. So, as far as caffeine, I couldn't get any definitive answer to that. That said, part of the reason I am spitting, one, I wanted to see if it would spit, but two is if there is caffeine in any way, since it is 2:45 in the morning here, I'd rather not swallow it and have it sitting in my stomach at this time of night or morning, depending which way you want to look at it. So, again, this has been the review of BACCOFF coffee pouches, the Mocha flavor. No nicotine, but looking at it strictly as a flavor experience type deal, pretty good. And quality product for what it is. I mean, it's put together nicely. Container's pretty good, being all plastic. It's pretty good. Pouches are uniform. Everything looks good about the product. My only drawback on it would be the lack of nicotine. It would never be able to really replace anything for me. And that is that. I do hope you all are well. I will be back tomorrow night with a PSA. Bergs, thank you for sending me this for the review. I do hope you all are well. Do take care of yourselves, and God bless.